Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Learn English with Podcast. I'm Alex, and as always, I'm here with my amazing co-host, Sarah.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be back for episode 4. Today's topic is a good one, right, Alex?
Did you know that trying to memorize vocabulary is one of the worst ways to learn new words? Yeah, I bet no one told you that, right? If you're trying to learn English by cramming words into your brain, you're probably doing it wrong. But don't worry, in today's episode, we will show you some fun and easy ways to grow your vocabulary, methods that work. So, if you've been struggling with remembering English words, stay with us, because what we're about to share could change how you learn forever.
Exactly. We've all been there, sitting down with a list of words, trying to memorize them for hours, only to forget them the next day. But that's not how real language learning works. And today, we're going to dive deep into the methods that will actually stick. And trust me, you're going to enjoy it.
Let's start by talking about why memorizing vocabulary doesn't really work. I know it sounds like the easiest way, right? You've got your flashcards, your list of words, and you just repeat them over and over again. But here's the problem. Your brain doesn't hold on to information like that, especially when it comes to language.
That's so true. Think about it. How many times have you learned a word, used it once, and then totally forgotten it? It happens because our brains are wired to remember things that have meaning, things that we use in real life. So if you're just memorizing words without any context, they're not going to stick.
Exactly. Words need to be connected to something, like a story or an emotion. The more meaning you give to a word, the easier it is to remember. So today we're going to share methods that go beyond memorizing. We'll show you how to learn words in a way that will make them a natural part of your vocabulary.
One of the best ways to learn new words is through stories. Stories give words context, and that's exactly what your brain needs. When you read or listen to a story, you're not just learning random words. You're learning them in a way that makes sense. You can see how they're used in real life.
That's right. For example, let's say you're reading a short story about someone traveling to a new country. You might learn words related to travel, like airport, luggage, passport, but you'll also learn how those words are used in sentences. Instead of just learning the word luggage, you'll see it in a sentence like, I packed my luggage for the trip. That's much more helpful than just memorizing a luggage equals sign bags.
And it's more fun. You're not sitting there staring at a list of words. You're enjoying a story and picking up new vocabulary without even realizing it. You can even make it a habit to read short stories in English every day. They don't have to be long or complicated. The key is to find stories that you enjoy, so it feels like fun, not work.
Yes, and if reading isn't your thing, don't worry. You can listen to stories too. Audiobooks, podcasts, or even watching TV shows with subtitles can help. When you hear new words in a story, you're much more likely to remember them. Another method that works wonders is using new words in your daily life. I know this sounds simple, but it's one of the most effective ways to make words stick. The more you use a word, the more natural it becomes, and eventually, you won't even have to think about it.
Exactly, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Let's say you learned the word delicious. Try using it every day for a week. Every time you eat something you like, say, "This is delicious." Or if you're learning words about travel, next time you talk to a friend, try saying something like, "I want to visit a new country this year." The more you use the word, the easier it will be to remember.
That's such a great tip. I always tell people that language is like a muscle. You have to keep using it to make it stronger. If you just learn a word and never use it, it's like doing one push-up and expecting to get stronger. You have to practice, and the best way to practice is by using the words in real conversations.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's completely normal to mess up when you're learning a new language. The important thing is that you're trying, and the more you practice, the better you'll get.
Here's another fun method: learning vocabulary by category. Instead of trying to learn random words, pick a category and focus on that. For example, if you're interested in food, start by learning all the words related to food: fruits, vegetables, cooking tools, restaurant phrases.
That's a really good point. When you focus on one category at a time, it's easier to see how the words are connected, and you're more likely to use them in real life. Plus, it's less overwhelming than trying to learn a bunch of random words.
Exactly. You can even create your own little vocabulary themes. One week, focus on learning words related to travel. The next week, focus on words related to work, and so on. This way, you're building up your vocabulary in a structured, meaningful way.
And here's a tip. Create a vocabulary notebook. Every time you learn a new word, write it down in your notebook under the right category. This way, you can go back and review it later. Plus, writing things down helps you remember them better. Okay, let's get to the fun part, playing games. Who says learning vocabulary has to be boring? There are so many games out there that can help you build your English vocabulary while having a good time.
Yes, one of my favorites is the classic game Pictionary. You can play with friends or even by yourself. Pick a word, draw a picture of it, and try to guess what the word is. This works really well with nouns like objects, animals, or places.
Another great game is 20 questions. One person thinks of a word, and the other person has to guess what it is by asking yes or no questions. For example, if the word is apple, you might ask, is it something you eat? Or is it a fruit? It's a fun way to practice asking questions and learning new words at the same time.
And don't forget about apps. There are tons of vocabulary building apps like Duolingo, Memories, or Quizlet. They turn learning into a game, and you can challenge yourself to learn more words each day. Did you know that music can be a powerful tool for learning new words? When you listen to songs in English, you're not only enjoying the music, you're also picking up new vocabulary and phrases.
That's so true. Music is great because it sticks in your head. You might hear a word or a phrase in a song, and because of the melody, you'll remember it for a long time. Plus, songs often use everyday language, so you'll be learning words and phrases that people actually use in real life.
And don't be afraid to sing along. Singing the words helps you remember them better, and it also improves your pronunciation. You can even look up the lyrics and try to understand the meaning of the song. It's a fun and relaxed way to learn.
And if you're not sure where to start, try listening to some popular English songs with simple lyrics. There are plenty of websites where you can find songs for English learners. One of the most important things when learning vocabulary, or anything really, is to set realistic goals. It's tempting to want to learn 100 words in a day, but that's just not practical. You'll end up feeling overwhelmed and frustrated.
Right. Instead, start small. Maybe your goal is to learn 5 new words each week. That's totally doable. And by the end of the year, you'll have learned over 250 words. It's all about consistency and setting goals that you can actually achieve.
And make it fun. Reward yourself when you reach your goals. If you learn your 5 new words for the week, treat yourself to something you enjoy. It's a great way to stay motivated.
Yes, and don't forget to review the words you've learned. Go back to your vocabulary notebook, play games, or use the words in conversations. The more you review, the more those words will stick. All right, so to wrap things up, here's the deal. Memorizing words is not the answer. If you want to really grow your vocabulary, you've got to find methods that make learning fun and meaningful. Whether it's through stories, games, music, or daily conversations, the key is to keep it practical and engaging.
Exactly. Learning vocabulary doesn't have to be boring, and it definitely shouldn't feel like a chore. Find what works for you, keep practicing, and before you know it, you'll be using new words like a pro.
And remember, it's all about progress, not perfection. So don't stress if you don't learn everything at once. Take it one step at a time, and most importantly, have fun with it.
Thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to check out our next one.
Watch the next video.